Virginia High Bearcat basketball will be on the air in 5 minutes. Three minutes. Two minutes until airtime. Sixty seconds. Seconds till Bearcat basketball. Fifteen seconds.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
It's time for Bearcat basketball from the radio home of Virginia High Athletics. You're listening to the Bearcat Tip-Off Show on Bearcat Radio. Good evening and welcome to tonight's exclusive coverage of Virginia High basketball on Bearcat Radio. Bearcats are set to host Southwest District rival Marion as both teams fight to rise in the Southwest District standings. Tonight the Cats look to right the ship. They've lost 2 in a row after winning the first 2 district games. And we'll see what happens in that one. Again, Dylan Hutton joined by Coach Reese Sidnor, his second official game as a broadcaster. He did a great job in the first game. I'll brag on you a little bit.
I appreciate it. I'm trying here.
I think you did really, really good. Exceeding expectations. And Coach, here's your first question. This is your 4th question of the day. We'll see how you – it's like Jeopardy here. Virginia High struggled this year, the boys have, but they've heated up at the start of conference play. They started 2-0. They had the big upset win over Richlands. No one saw that one coming. What have you seen from them over the past few weeks?
You know, it's just like the girls. As a coach, there's a transition phase. They got a new head coach this year, so they got to get used to his coaching style. Each coach had their own coaching style, and they had Coach Timmons last year, and this year they have Coach Rasden, so they get used to him. We have a lot of new kids on the team this year. A lot of kids that we had a few kids who played last year, decided not to play this year. So Tyler Strong's a new kid that we have. He's been playing well. We got a couple new kids, more kids out there that's new to our roster. So it takes time for those kids to gel with each other and figure out their strengths and weaknesses.
We've seen, as we talked about right near the end of the girls' varsity game, if you're just now tuning in, the girls had a good game. They beat Marion just a second ago, 67-44. And I just talked to Coach Timmons. He's going to join us at halftime, so we'll get him over here. He said he was even going to bring a stat sheet for us to look at. So.
Well, I believe I talked to Mr. Lee there, Todd Lee, and I believe right now that he said about 25 steals and about 48 rebounds. So those are good stats.
Stellar stats. So the Cats, the boys' varsity, they've had a little bit of sickness hit them so far this week. The roster earlier this week, the majority of the roster has been sick. Several players experiencing cold or strep-like symptoms, and it's had a big impact. It had a big impact on the Graham game a couple of nights ago. They only had 5 rebounds in that game all night long. Will it continue to affect them tonight? What do you think?
Well, let's start with this. I mean, Graham's a really good team. So, even if we were healthy and things like that, I mean, Graham's a really good team. So I give them credit. But with illnesses and injuries, it's part of playing sports. Each team probably have kids sick and hurt. I mean, it's right now. It's flu season. And in school system, you get a couple kids sick, then it goes out through school and gets to your team. I mean, you're going to have a couple kids sick. But, one thing I talk about as a coach, especially for football, seize the opportunity. There's an opportunity for some other kids to get more minutes. With the girl game, we got to a big lead. We got some of those young girls get in there and get some valuable minutes. So here, if you got some kids, out of the game not playing because they're hurt or they can't play up to full strength, some of these guys, they don't get those minutes. Let them get some minutes of that and seize opportunity. And, maybe they get in there and play well, and then, who knows?
They might have the job.
Yeah.
You never know. So the last game, the Cats faced the Hurricanes. They lost in that one the last time they played them. It was let's see, let me find my score here. It was 76-62 there at Marion, but Tyler Strong, a sophomore guard, he packed the stat sheet. He had 37 points. And after a performance like that, if you're Tyler Strong against the same team tonight, where is his mind in this one?
Oh, if I know my kids the way I think I know them, I think he should come in here confident. He had a good game against them, and he's going to come in here thinking that, he can put up the same numbers. Now, and vice versa with Marion, Marion's going to come in here thinking, okay, that kid had a really good game against us, 37 points. Then they're going to really have to play defense, step their game up and try to slow him down. But like I said, I think he'll come in tonight very confident, knowing that he put up 37 points against them.
What do you think they're going to try to do? think anything schematically they could do?
You know, I watched a little bit of the game, and I think, you know, like I said, he's a new player to our roster, and some of these kids might not know who he was, and you know, sometimes when that happens, you kind of, you know, you look out for the other kids. You know, Gavin was with us last year, so, you know, I think they were trying to take Gavin away. Alex Emmons has been playing well. I think they were trying to take him away. So Tyler's kind of like that third option, and he had a really good game. So, but like I said, coming to this game, I think they will put a body on him. I think they'll put a hand in his face and try to, you know, just try to frustrate him a little bit.
And the last game for the Cats was a 78-43 loss to Graham. Again, with all the sickness, they had a few guys out in that game. The Cats did. Plus, Graham's really good. They're 13-1, and they're in first place in the Southwest District. And for the standings, the Cats are sitting third or fourth, depending. I don't know how fluid they've been. The last time the stats have been updated, standings were in the paper, and that was on the 22nd. So it's been 4 days. They've likely changed, but the Cats are not at the bottom. They're right around the middle right now. They've got a little bit of leverage. They can move up a little bit. No one's going to catch a Graham at this point. And you don't realize how late in the schedule we've gotten, how late we are. I mean, we got another couple of weeks. We're done. We're in playoff time.
I mean, the season flies by. You know, you can't wait for it to get here. Next thing you know, you blink and it's over.
And some storylines for tonight's game, again brought to you by State Line Motors and BSN Sports. Bearcats would get back to 500 in Southwest District play with the win. Marion would try to climb out of third place with the win tonight. Bearcats look to avoid a season sweep by Marion. The Cats actually swept Marion last year. Players to watch in this game, watch out for Caleb Osborne for the Hurricanes. He's averaging 15.4 points per game. And also for the Bearcats, Tyler Strong. Mentioned him, 37 last time he faced Marion. He's averaging 14 points a game. That's fourth best in the Southwest District. So we got two of the top 5 scorers in the district on the same floor tonight. One of them just happens to be a sophomore in the orange and black for the Bearcats. And Coach Sidnor, as we reach about a minute and a half, 90 seconds to go until this one gets ready to go. Can you give us your keys to the game?
My 3 keys, I think, it starts with Tyler, Strong, and the Marion defense. You know, what are they going to do to try to prevent him from putting up those points again? And it's early success. It depends on what team. If Tyler Strong has early success, I think he's going to play well. If they put a body on him, put a hand in his face, and he struggles a little bit, I think, you know, it might deter our success a little bit early, and we might lose a little bit of confidence. Second is feed the bigs. I do think we have a height advantage against Marion. Feed those guys inside. Take those extra passes. Get them to try to defend the three-point shot, and then throw it inside to some of our bigs and let them get those easy buckets inside. And then the last thing, I felt like in some of these games that we've lost, you know, we've played well in spurts, and then we have that one bad quarter, that one, you know, 5-minute, 4-minute mark where we turn the ball over. We're not scoring. Avoid that, you know. If we struggle, slow the pace down. You know, avoid that bad quarter. Avoid those turnovers.
We'll see how the Cats can do as we get set for tip. About 23 seconds to go until starters are introduced for tonight's game. Last time Marion faced Virginia High, again, 76-62, the final score in that one. Zach McNeil had 14 points, 10 boards, and Kelby Ford had 10 points, 10 rebounds. So 2 Scarlet Hurricanes had double doubles in that game. Of course, it was still competitive right near the end. I mean, Marion scored a few near the end of the game, but they had 2 other players in double digits. Caleb Osborne had 20 and 4 steals, and Kyle Robinson had 12 points. So they had points coming from everywhere, much like the girls had. Yeah. Girls varsity just had for Virginia High. So
and I think we played well, but again, like I talked about earlier, I think in that fourth quarter they pulled away from us a little bit, but we had those spurts where we kind of didn't score and we turned the ball over a little bit. It'd be interesting to see what kind of lineup he goes with tonight, Coach Rasnick. It seems like he's always kind of changing the lineup, you know, from each game.
So Coach Rasnick out on the floor. Chad Bailey's team, the Marion Charlotte Hurricanes, coming out for their starting lineups. Taylor Vance, the first player introduced, and Devin Wolf, Zach McNeil, Kelby Ford. All these players are seniors that we're listing off right here. Kelby's a senior as well. And Caleb Osborne, I had it pegged. I had guessed on the starters just by their ages, and I had it right. I put a star beside everybody before the game. And high school basketball is kind of tough to prep for, not like football, you know, where you got a whole week. But, yeah, that's the starters. Vance, Wolf, McNeil, Ford, and Osborne. That's 4 seniors and a junior, and that junior is third in the Southwest District, averaging 15.4 points per game. And they're playing Inner Sandman. I can't say I enjoy this very much, do you?
I'm okay with them. You know, when you live around this area, you got